What's up, you guys? It's your boy MJ, and you're now tuned in to Let's Talk for a Minute. So, as you guys can tell from the title, this is a late live stream from me. I just was in a mood today. Just felt like, wanted to go into something. I decided to go ahead and talk about a particular franchise that I actually think is actually pretty good and pretty decent franchise that I think really went under the radar as far as the overall mainstream media. What we're going to be talking about, and basically what I'm going to be doing is going to be talking about it and give my opinions and thoughts and opinions and reviews overall as far as the Wishmaster franchise. Pretty much, which we all should know. If you guys don't know, the Wishmaster franchise, which is basically another franchise composed by the legendary Wes Craven. So I know a lot of you guys know of Wes Craven, of course. Wes Craven from the legendary Scream franchise. Hold on, you guys. Just making sure, testing, making sure that everything is going. You guys can hear me. But yeah, anyways, yes, we're going to be talking about the Wishmaster. This series, it's a good series. I personally think it's a good series. I do think it went under the radar. There were 4 films in the series. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone that's in the chat, spam and let me know. There were 4 films in the series. There were 4 films in the series, I believe. Yes, 4 films. Now, as I said, the first film, it premiered in 1997. And it starred lead actress Tammy Lauren. And also co-star, which played the villain. Well, but first of all, let's give the backstory, okay? Those of you guys that don't know of the Wishmaster, okay, the overall story of the Wishmaster is pretty much. Hold on, you guys. Before I get into more, let me make sure and check and everything. Make sure that everything is going. The comments and everything is ready and live to go. Okay, so but yeah, sorry about that, you guys. But anyways, yeah, like the backstory of the Wishmaster. The Wishmaster is a horror film. It's pretty much about basically it's like a kind of, I would say, it's a dark horror fan. I mean, dark, maybe like a dark horror fantasy type of trilogy, I guess you could say. It's pretty much basically about when you have, okay, the first film is pretty much and the whole entire series is basically constructed and based on this. Is pretty much about basically a Djinn being summoned and basically and casting, granting wishes. But when the Djinn grants the wishes, okay, it's not what you think, because when we all think of, like, for instance, genies and all that, etc., when you grant wishes, it's a good thing. But in this particular situation, and with this film, the direction where this went, it was basically the dark tale of grant of a basically a genie, or when you grant wishes and then it turns out to be not so good. So there has been quite a few storylines that were kind of similar to this right here. So pretty much, like I said, it's about a Djinn that grants wishes to whoever awakens him or summons him. Um, and just so you guys know, now the first two films, the Djinn was played by Andrew Devoff, played the Djinn in the first 2 films. Okay, just so you guys know that. Now, before I go into start ranking the films and which one I think was basically the best to the least most favorable to my most favorable, I will talk a little bit about the actor that played the Djinn, especially in the first 2 films, Andrew Devoff. Um, I actually think that Devoff did a pretty good job. Devoff did a pretty good job in the first 2 films. I was surprised that they didn't put him in each film, the follow-up 2 films. But I think the reason why they didn't do that, I guess they wanted to keep mixing it up a little bit with the Djinn. But the fact that they had him in the first 2 films, it would have made more sense, logical sense, for him to be in each and every film. But it didn't really matter. Okay, the individuals, the actors that were in the other 2 follow-up films, they did a pretty fairly decent job. In the third film, I don't know about the third film, the guy that played the Djinn in the third film. But in the fourth film, it was pretty. The actor that played in the fourth film was pretty decent. But as I said, that's the backstory. It's about a Djinn, a dark little secret hidden undercurrent about the Djinn. Now, I do think that this series was. Oh, before I go on, I want to say hi to Jen Tatum is in the building. Jen Tatum is in the building. How you doing? How you doing, Jen? Nice to have you in the building. But yeah, as I was saying, okay, with the Jen, we have it was good. As I said, the series was good. It was definitely good. Um, as I said, we had Tammy Lauren playing in the first film. I do think that Tammy Lauren, I think that she did a very good job. She did a good job. She was one of my most favorite leading actresses in the entire saga. Not my most favorite, but in the top ranking of my most favorite actresses in this saga, the Wishmaster series. The first film, it was real good. That appeared in 1997. The first film in the saga, I think it was actually really, really pretty good and pretty decent. Um, also, anyone, you're more than welcome to jump into the stream. The link is posted right now in the chat. So if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to jump in. But anyway, moving on. As I was saying, I think Tammy Lauren did a good job as far as in the first follow-up film. The first film appeared in 1997. At the time when this appeared, okay, we were still in the era. I guess you'll say we were in the ending ages, the ending era of the slasher films and et cetera, et cetera. But being a dark fantasy film, I think it was good for what it was the time it came out. The first film definitely didn't disappoint. It was actually good. It had a strong cast in it. They had individuals such as, they had from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. You had Robert Englund. So Robert Englund was in this film. He basically played the role of I believe the archaeologist or someone like that will always go around and gathering ancient artifacts and such things like that. So Robert Englund had a pretty decent role, and so it had a pretty strong cast. It also had I can't think of his name, but the male actor the actor that played Dan Scott in the teen soap opera One Tree Hill, the one that played Nathan in Nathan Scott and what was the other brother name? The brother that was from the mother Karen. I can't think of his name right now, but the two boys that were basically the two brothers that wound up meeting each other and realizing that they were brothers because they had the same father. But the guy that played Dan Scott in a One Tree Hill teenage soap opera, pretty much, he was in the film as well. He played a priest. As I said, the first film, it definitely was good. It was definitely did what it needed to do. I really didn't have nothing to say about the first film. It was actually fairly decent, had a strong cast. The storyline was actually good. What really captured me and what brought me into this film and what really made me really like this trilogy and wanted to keep going on and looking into other films is because the first film, I think it was really good at the time, that the significant time that it came out in the 90s, especially in the age of we still was in the ending ages of the slasher films. I do think that it was a good film, and it's what made me want to keep following on and watch the follow-up films in the Wishmaster series. But as I said, it definitely had a strong cast, and it definitely was a good storyline. Okay, because we didn't see storylines like this where we had a type of genie being summoned, or in this case, a Djinn being summoned and being unlocked, and then granting you wishes, and basically, when you grant wishes, it turns out to be an evil, demonic way. Okay, so I thought that was just so cool. I thought it was something different, something fresh compared to the time frame that it came out in the early 90s. So that's what I liked about the film. It definitely didn't disappoint. It was definitely good. But I do think the fact that it had a strong cast, such as individuals like Robert Englund and the lead actress Tammy Lauren, also having the main antagonist, the antagonist Andrew Divoff. That was definitely another banger. It was just a phenomenal cast all around. As I told you guys, personally speaking, as a writer, I always tell you guys, for those of you guys that follow me, there's two things that can make and break a film, especially when you talk about horror. It's the overall structure of the story, the storyline, and the casting. It's like you can have, for example, you can have a not good storyline, but have a strong cast and the film be good because of that strong cast and carry on that film. But if you turn it around, you can't have a good storyline and a good structure of a story, but then have a bad cast. It's just not going to work because the cast, I think a lot of people don't seem to realize that the importance of the cast members and the performers. When you have performers that can actually make you believe the story and make the presence, their overall presence, make it believable, it's a part what makes the film enjoyable. It's like you can't have it the other way. You can't have a good storyline and good story structure and a good script, but then have a bad cast. It's just going to draw people away like, wait a minute, hey, that's not believable. That's not believable. But overall in the Wishmaster series, the Wishmaster, it definitely didn't disappoint. 1 second, guys. You have Jamie Hart in the building. Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining in the chat. Thanks for being in the building. Jamie says, hi, MJ. I love the first Wishmaster. Saw it at the theater when it came out. Oh, yes, definitely, Jamie. I saw it when it came out in the theaters too. And I actually, after watching the first film in the series, it actually, when the other films came out, it actually made me want to see the other films because of the fact how good the first film was. And that's what I say about a lot of these franchises now. You know, we have a lot of these franchises now where the follow-up films, it's just not good. It's like I said, sometimes the first film in the series, in the trilogy, and on a franchise, it can really make or break the follow-up films and the preceding films in a franchise. But the first film was definitely good. I do like one thing that I really liked in the first film. I think what made me really like the Wishmaster, the first film, and keep going and wanting to see the follow-up films, the second film, the third film, and the fourth film, it was the Djinn, the antagonist in the film. I think the antagonist in this series, I just can't I can't express it enough. This was a good portrayal of an antagonist. It was something different, even though, you know, but I guess you could say, we can't say that it had that kind of Jeepers Creepers vibe to it because Jeepers Creepers came out way after the Wishmaster. So we could kind of say that kind of the way they gave the appearance of the Jeepers Creepers, it was kind of, if you look at the Djinn from the Wishmasters, you'll be like, okay, wow, that's where they got the Jeepers Creepers from. Because I can remember when I first saw the first Jeepers Creepers film, and when we saw the Jeepers Creepers, I was like, man, this antagonist, he looks very familiar, but I couldn't quite put my hand on where he got it from. But it made sense when I went back to look at these films. It was from the Wishmaster. I just really like how the antagonist, the Djinn, was crafted in this Wishmaster series. I loved it. Now, not all of them. There was, I believe, I like the second film was my favorite version. I would say the first and the second film was my favorite versions of actually the Djinn. I wasn't too fond of the Djinn in the third and the fourth film. I think it was better when Andrew Duvall played the antagonist, the Djinn. I think he did a hell of a job. I cannot say him about enough. Andrew Duvall, he's a very, 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 very good. He's a very good actor, definitely. And I think that they got it right when the director, the producers, whoever was behind choosing the antagonist for the Wishmasters, as far as the first two films, I think they did a very good job and they got it right. I can't say it enough. Duvall did a very good job playing the Djinn. As I said, the storyline was so good. It was something new for me. It was something fresh, and it was good. I also like the connection between how they had the performance of Tammy Lauren compared to the performance by Andrew Duvall. So that's what I really liked about this film. It was just like an overall good vibe. The connection was right there by each other. But as I said, and when we get in a little bit, I'm going to be letting you guys know which ones was my favorite and which one was my worst. Definitely, I have a ranking of which ones was the least favorable and which was the most favorable. And I'm also going to be going about which was my favorite lead actresses from all four films. Let's see what we got. Jamie Hart. She says, I remember seeing the sequel on HBO, but I can't remember the details. Does it have more than one LOL? Yes. Now, it's crazy that Jamie says that because, as I said, I'm going to be ranking these films, and I'm going to just go. I guess we can start right now since it just came up. Honestly, even though the first film, I love the first film, but the first film was not my most favorable. Honestly, I guess we'll put it right there. My favorite most film out of all of the films, I would have to say the second film was my most favorite film out of the whole series. The number two, the second film. Now, the reason why the second film was my most favorite is because the fact that you still had the main antagonist. you had the main antagonist, Devolve, playing the Djinn, but also you had oh, sorry, I was about to pronounce her name wrong, but you had Holly Fields playing the lead actress in this film. Now, besides Devolve, of course, because you know Devolve, he does a good job. Pretty much anything that Devolve touches, I pretty much like. He's been in a lot of projects, and he always does a phenomenal job, a phenomenal actor, and I think he goes a little bit under the radar. But I will say that the second film, Jamie, the second film was actually my favorite film in the series. The second film was my favorite because I think it was how the storyline of the second film, also as well as the portrayal of the antagonist, the portrayal of the Djinn. It's reason why it was my favorite film in the franchise. I can't say it enough. I just think, sorry you guys, but I just can't say it enough that overall, to me personally, the second film in the franchise was definitely overall my number one most favorite film in the franchise. I think that they elevated from the first film to the second film. They elevated the portrayal and the image of the of Devolve's role of the Djinn. They portrayed it a little bit more from the first to the second film. It was I don't know why it just stuck with me. The portrayal in the image of the Djinn in the second film was my most favorite portrayal of the Djinn. Like I said, I did like the overall flow of the story structure and what the concept of the second story was as well. I mean, the second film in the series as well. The first film, I would have to say, is my third most favorite film. My least most favorite film, definitely in the series, is definitely the third one. The third one, to me personally, I can't say enough. You had the lead actress AJ Cook. You had AJ Cook. Now, in the third film, we didn't see Devolve. Now, I think that could possibly be a reason why that maybe the third film could have possibly been one of the least most favorable. Number one, it didn't have Devolve in it. It didn't have Andrew Devolve in it. Also, the lead actress, AJ Cook, she wasn't, I don't know. I mean, she was good, but I just really didn't catch on to her. And also the storyline structure, and I think how I think because of the tradition from the first and the second film compared to who the Djinn was, then when we got into the third film and the fourth film, they changed who became the Djinn. It's like all of a sudden they just randomly picked who the Djinn would be when he takes the face of any individual or particular individuals. It was not like that in the first and second film. For you guys that remember the first and second film, they picked who the Djinn was. It was the same person, but it wasn't someone that the character knew. It wasn't someone that the main character in the first film knew, and it wasn't someone that the main character in the second film knew. It was the same person, but it was just a stranger. But in the third and the fourth film of the series, they made the Djinn someone that the lead actress knew in each film. So that's what really kind of baffled me right there. But as I said, the second film was still my most favorite. My second most favorite in the series was definitely, I would say, hands down. Let's check out the comments. We have Jamie says there are 4 Wishmasters. Man, I'm behind on that series. Yes, Jamie, there are definitely 4 films, and actually, the second and the fourth one are my most favorite ones. If you haven't watched all the films, Jamie, I highly recommend go ahead and watch and check out the other films, because the fourth film is actually my second most favorite film. I think let's just say it like this. This will be the order. This is my order from the first. This is my order from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, out of all 4 films, the second film is my favorite. Is my most favorite film. So that's how we'll do it. That's how we'll do it. Okay, so sorry, you guys. I'm still going. Just looking at some of the comments in my personal email. Okay, so the second film, Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies. That was my number 1 most favorite film. Okay, all around, overall, the overall success of it and the overall structure of it, that was my number 1. The fourth film, okay, Wishmaster number 4. Okay, that was the prophecy fulfilled. That was the prophecy fulfilled. That was my second most favorite one. The first film, the 1997 film Wishmaster, that was my third most favorite film. And the third film was was basically my least most favorable film. I just think overall the third film altogether, the way it was constructed and how the storyline, I think it was just the most terriblest film right there. I would hands down have to say the third film would be the least most favorable. As I said, this series, I can't quite put my hand on it why it didn't get enough exposure and why the audience didn't flock to it more. Like I said, it could possibly because of the time that when this series came out, we had a lot of we still had a lot of fresh we had a lot of the slasher films going on at this time, and we had them late 90s slasher films as well going on at this time. So I think that could possibly be what it is. It was way too many franchises out at that time that were so high, such as we still had the Halloween franchise going on. We had films coming out such as for example, we had Halloween H2O. You had you had some of the other ones before Halloween H2O. We had Halloween what was it? A couple of other films before that. We also had the Scream franchise. We had the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise. You had Urban Legends that came out at that time. I mean, it was just so many good franchises that came out at that time. So I think that could possibly be the reason why the Wishmaster kind of went underrated. But personally, I think that the Wishmaster was actually a good series, not from just watching the first film, but watching all 4 films. I think it was a good film. I think definitely the antagonist, the Djinn, is definitely something to remember. It's definitely something to remember. I mean, when you're talking about the overall structure, now, as I said, it would have been nice. I would have liked to see, and I would have enjoyed. I would have really, really, really liked to see Andrew DeVolf be in all 4 of the films. It would have been nice because I think he did a good job in the first 2 films. I don't know for whatever reasons why they decided to replace him for whatever reasons, but I think he did a fantastic job, and he basically he carried that torch, and he made the Djinn in the film look very presentable, and it was a very, very good job. Once again, you guys, the link is in the chat. Anyone that if you guys are want to jump in, you're more than welcome to jump in. The lines are open. The link is in the chat. But anyways, yes. But as I said, the franchise was good. Of course, it wasn't something like the Halloween. Of course, if we put it in a category, if we vote who I'd put it, Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, the Child's Play franchise. Of course, we know we're not going to put it above those franchises. But honestly, I can say that the Wishmaster series is actually better than some of those franchises that came out in the 90s, and even some of those franchises that came out in the 2000s. The Wishmaster series was definitely better than it. Now, I'm not sure, maybe because it wasn't pushed enough, or maybe it wasn't publicized enough or mainstream. Maybe that's possibly could be why. I don't know. But like I said, you also have to look at how, traditions, as far as we're talking about horror franchise in particular, when we're talking about that the main characters, the main protagonists in films, I think because of the fact that the Wishmaster kept changing and kept switching the main protagonists in the films, that could have possibly had a reason. That could have possibly been a reason why the franchise wasn't so successful. And also for the fact of you're not consistently having Andrew DeVolf in each and every film, because as I said, the guy is a A-list actor. The guy is a very beast, when it comes to his performances. And I'm not sure quite why they didn't have him in each and every single film. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to continue to be in part 3 and part 4. Maybe they didn't want to offer him enough pay. I don't know, but I personally think he should have been in all the other films. Now, as I said, the lead actresses, I will say they didn't get it right in a couple of in 2 of the films. I will definitely say they didn't get it right. So since I ranked the films for you guys as far as my most favorite to my least favorite, I can definitely say I had the same thing about the lead actresses. Now I had my own personal. You guys' opinion may be different. Now I'm curious to know what you guys' opinions are. Now I'm going to give you guys my ranking of the lead actresses in each film as well, my top to my least most favorite. Okay, so I guess I'll start off with my least most favorite. My least most favorite lead actress in the films would definitely have to be, Tara Spencer. Tara Spencer would be my least most favorite in the franchise. I don't know. I just think I don't know. I just really didn't. I wasn't really too fond of her. I guess it was all right, okay, but I just really wasn't really too fond of her. The next one on the list I would have to say would definitely have to be AJ Cook. AJ Cook definitely would be the next one. Now we're going to talk about the top 2. I would have to say that I'm sorry. Let me switch that around, you guys. I'm so sorry, you guys, because I have my notes right here, you guys. So just so you guys know, I have my notes, but I just said that wrong, you guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just told you guys that the least most favorable is actually my most favorable. You know what I'm saying? But let's start over. I'm a little wired right now because you guys, you know, I'm on a rock star right now. You know, guys, I love them rock stars. So I'm a little wired right now. So let's start that over real quick. So let's take that back. Okay, I'm gonna start that over. I'm gonna go like this. I'm sorry, you guys. My least most favorite one of out of the whole group, I would have to say would have to been AJ Cook. AJ Cook, I would say, come in fourth place. That she was my least most favorite lead actress. And then the next one I would have to say would be Holly Fields. Those two will be at the bottom, okay? Fourth and third. Now, my top two, I would have to say, hands down, I think the fourth film, Tara Spencer in the fourth film, I think that she was my most favorite lead actress in the franchise. I love Tara Spencer's role, and I think, to me personally, she was actually the hottest and most attractive one to me. It's not to say that the other lead actresses wasn't attractive, but I think, to me, my most favorable, to me, the one that touched me the most was Tara Spencer. And then it would be Tammy Lauren from the original film, the 1997 film, the first film in the franchise, Tammy Lauren. Those are my two most favorite ones. So once again, my number one most favorite lead actress from the franchise would be from the fourth film, The Prophecy Fulfilled, Wishmaster, The Prophecy Fulfilled, Tara Spencer. Then the next one would be Tammy Lauren in the first film, The Wishmaster. Then it would be Holly Fields. And then it would be AJ Cook. So those were my ranking of the lead actresses. What more can I say about this film? As I said, it's good. It's worth the watch. Definitely worth the watch. It's also, you guys, if you guys have not watched the full series and you might want to catch up on this series and peep out and finish watching the series, maybe you've watched the first film in the series, or maybe you watched the first two films, but you haven't watched the third and the fourth film. I highly recommend you go and watch the other films. All the films, the whole entire saga is available on Tubi right now. I will say this is another thing I want to say to you guys, okay? Tubi right now, to me, Tubi is one of the one of my most biggest recommended streaming sites that I highly recommend that you guys should have. If you don't have it on your phone, or if you don't have it on whatever, you should have Tubi. Tubi it's the number one. I think Tubi has a lot of films on it, and even especially for the horror fans, it has a whole library collection of a lot of horror films from new to middle to all the way old back to old school classic. It has a lot of horror films. It has a big collection of horror films on there. But once again, this whole franchise is available on Tubi. So if you have not watched the entire series, I highly recommend you go and watch the series. The whole series is available on Tubi. You guys, I know I don't hear it a lot. I don't really hear it a lot. I don't hear it a lot at all. But you guys, to me, Tubi is one of the most recommended sites that I can give you guys as far as streaming and watching movies, in particular horror films, or even outside of horror films. Now, the reason why I'm saying it's one of the number one sites is because if you look at most of all the platforms, they're not free. You have to pay for them. But Tubi right now is still free. Tubi is free. So just so you guys know, Tubi is free. So if you don't have Tubi, if you're not watching Tubi and you don't have Tubi stream site, I don't know what you're doing, but that's just a little punchline right there. But I highly recommend, guys, get Tubi and watch Tubi. Tubi has a lot of collection of movies and films, you guys. I highly recommend you get it. Once again, the entire Wishmaster series is available on Tubi. Now, just a heads up, you guys. I know a lot of people probably are not fans of Tubi because of the streaming site Tubi, because of the commercials. But you guys have to understand, Tubi has came a long way, okay? I've been basically a member of Tubi for a long time. If we're talking about way back about several to 10 years ago, when Tubi was like, you used to have a lot of commercials and a lot of that buffering, the commercials and buffering. They used to be like every 3 minutes, and it used to get on my nerves. I'm like, oh man, every 3 minutes we got buffering and commercials. But Tubi has came a long way now. Definitely, it's not how it was where it had all that buffering and all those commercials. It's actually more tolerable right now. Tubi right now is free. It's kind of like YouTube when you have the YouTube and you're watching something and you have the ads. That's kind of how Tubi is now. It don't have all that ridiculous buffering, all those ridiculous commercials on it how it used to have. So that's the good thing what I like about Tubi. Tubi has came a long way. But I highly recommend you guys, especially for the horror fans, get Tubi. Tubi has a whole collection. But as I said, you guys, you know, I'm a huge fan of this franchise, of the Wishmaster franchise. I actually wouldn't mind seeing the Tubi franchise make some more films. I would love to see them. I definitely would like to see another film in this Wishmaster series, you know, just to bring it out and see what the, you know, the overall outcome would be. I think it would be perfect to look. It's been a while since we had a Wishmaster film, and I think it would be a good job. But if they're going to do it, you better make sure that whoever plays the Djinn, make sure the antagonist, whoever plays the antagonist, you got to get the right character for that. You also have to get the right lead actress for to play the main protagonist as well. I'm curious to know what you guys, for those of you guys, I know Jamie Hart is in the building. I know Jamie, she says she has watched the first film, but she hasn't continued to watch the films, but it's a highly recommend. But I'm curious to any of you guys out there, have you watched any of the Wishmaster films? Or if you have not, I highly recommend you check it out. If you have watched any of the Wishmasters film, which film have you watched and which films have you not watched? That's a good question I have for you guys. I'm curious. But I will tell you guys, man, the third film, it was bad. It was bad. It was, to me, personally, to my opinion, it was the least most favorable. It was just bad overall. But I can't say enough about this series. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm basically commenting right now to some of the comments in my personal email. Yeah, you guys, it's just, I'm not sure. Maybe some of you guys can answer. I'm not sure. I was still wondering too, man. You know, why didn't this franchise get enough shine on it? Why didn't this franchise get enough light on it? I don't understand it, because overall, the franchise, to me personally, if I had to give this franchise overall rating, okay, so let's I'm not going to just say one film. I'm going to say the whole entire franchise overall, and then I'll rate each film by itself. But overall, I would have to give the Wishmaster franchise, compared to other franchises, I would give the Wishmaster franchise, I would give it a 6.5 rating, okay? I'm just being fair, a 6.5 rating. I would have gave it a higher rating, but the fact that is that not all the films were actually all that good, even though they all were good, but all of them, like the third one, it was just, I just couldn't understand where they were going with the third film. It was just too much all over the place, and it just was not making no sense, and it was not in correlation with the first two films. That's why I had a problem with that third film. Now, when the fourth film came out, the reason why I think it was good, because when the person they had playing the antagonist, or the main antagonist of the fourth film, I think it was a pretty good job. And also the lead actress in the fourth film, which was Tara Spencer, to me, she was my most favorite lead actress in the whole entire franchise series. Jen Tanum says she saw the first two films. So it's definitely, yes, Jen Tanum, you first saw the first two films. Definitely, those are some of the good films. I highly recommend go watch the other two films as well, and then see if your opinions are the same as mine. What do you think about the overall franchise and overall general? I think with most people, just like how Jamie Hart said, and also as well as Jen Tanum, I think that what the problem is that I think a lot of people did not see every film in this franchise. Really think about that. Most people have not watched. If you do a survey, most people have not seen every film in the franchise. Now, I can't quite understand why everyone hasn't seen every film, because the question I have for you guys out there is, watching the first film, the 1997 film by Wes Craven, starring Robert Englund, starring Tammy Lauren, and starring Andrew Duvall as a main antagonist. Did you guys like the first film in the franchise? Did you like the Wishmaster, the 1997 film? If you did like the first film, I'm curious to know why you guys didn't watch some of the other films. I'm just curious. It's no right or wrong answer. Just curious about that. But as I said, it's definitely good to watch. I actually just recently watched every single film in this franchise over again. I watched them in order. I watched number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, and it was lovely and it was enjoyable. As I told you guys, I won't keep this stream too much longer. I just wanted to get in and talk about this because I know I don't hear a lot of people talk about the Wishmaster series. And as I said, I think the Wishmaster series definitely went under the radar. So I will say this to you guys. Tubi is a good platform. There's a lot of content on Tubi. Also, I know you guys are used to seeing a lot of now. I have no issue with this, but I know you guys are seeing a lot of people in the community, or you're seeing a lot of people outside of the community. You always see people do reviews and talk about all of the top ranked films and horror films and all the mainstream films. Well, you guys know I don't like to do that all the time. I like to mix it up. You guys will be surprised. I'm telling you guys, I watch a lot of horror films. You guys will be surprised. I would say honestly, between September and October. Between September and October altogether, I will BS you guys not. September and October, I probably watched damn near over 300 to 400 films in September and October alone itself. This is just the point I'm trying to make to you guys, that I don't just watch mainstream stuff. I watch films that maybe not even good. They may not be the best. It may be, I might dislike it, but I still watch them because I like to do some reviews on the, not so good films. I even like to do reviews on B-rated movie films. Okay, so sometimes we have to show appreciation to those films that are not so good, But also, I highly recommend you guys. If you notice, I do like to talk about a lot is the classic films. Okay, it's a lot of old school classic horror films that I like to talk about because I like to give that credit and give that light shine of those old classical films. To give back and try to show that appreciation for those films way back in the days, because I think nowadays a lot of people are heavily obsessed with all of the I think a lot of people are heavily obsessed with all of the top-notch films and everything. A lot of people are heavily obsessed with them. Like, oh, if it's not mainstream, I can't mess with it. Or if it doesn't have all these theatrics, I can't mess with it. But I highly recommend you guys go back and start watching a lot of these classical old school films, and you'll start appreciating these films for what they were in the time frame they were in. We have Jamie Hart says, I guess the sequels slipped by me because back then I had so many cable channels, too much choices. You're absolutely right, Jamie. I couldn't agree with you more about that. Saying you're absolutely totally right. As I said, I spoke about that, mentioned it in the beginning of the stream, that I think that's possibly why the franchise did not get the big push or the big overall push, such as some of the other franchises, because it could have slipped past a lot of people. And because at that time, there were so many options back there and there were a lot of trending franchises. And that's probably why the Wishmaster series went a little bit underrated and didn't get the full push. So you're absolutely right about that, Jamie. That's kind of so we kind of got the same idea and kind of same vibe right there. So, what I'm saying? I think that too. I agree with that, Jamie. I definitely agree that because of the time frame that it came out, we had too many options out there. And hands down, if you do a survey and you mention the Wishmaster in the same breath as the Halloween franchise, as Nightmare on Elm Street, as Child's Play, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, yes, it's definitely it's not going to be picked over those. Okay, it's just not going to be that. So I agree with that. I think that's what it was too. It's just at the time frame that it come out. And I know I spoke with I did a review on a couple of other films before, such as for instance, just go off the topic a little bit. What was the film with Kevin Bacon? What was it? Was it Steer of Echoes with Kevin Bacon? And I talked about a little bit about that movie, and I showed how that it went a little bit under the radar because at the time that Steer of Echo came out, there were other films that came out at that time that were in that same kind of genre, such as what was it with what's the guy Bruce Willis? What was the movie what was the film with Bruce Willis with the young boy when he said "I see dead people"? But you guys know what I mean, though. That film came out at that time when that film came out, Steer of Echoes with Kevin Bacon. You had that film with Bruce Willis and the young boy where it was "I See Dead People." So I can't think of the name right now. You guys help me out if you guys know the name to let me know what it is. But the movie with Bruce Willis when he's like "I see dead people" and all that stuff. But that was the point I was trying to make you guys about these franchises and about some of these films that go underrated because of the fact that it's sometimes, like you said, it could be about the time frame that it comes out. Sometimes some of these directors, some of these producers, they can just get it wrong sometimes. It's just like how when we talk about a little bit, we'll go off topic a little bit about astrology. When you talk about astrology, you know how they talk about like some of these people when they align things with the stars before they put it out, or when they put it out in the shock waves and they put it out on networks, that it has to be aligned right. I think that's what happened with some of these films and franchises. If it's not aligned right and you don't put it out at the right time, it can go undershadowed. Jamie Hart says, there we go. Jamie Hart helped me out. She says The Sixth Sense. Yes, that's what it was, The Sixth Sense. So that was my perfect example. So I try to connect that back to the difference between why Wishmaster series went underrated because of the time that it came out. It's the same thing with The Sixth Sense. You know, Steer of Echoes was out around that same time as The Sixth Sense. And if you ask more people, which they know, if you ask more people, they know about The Sixth Sense compared to the Steer of Echoes, okay? If you ask someone, oh, they like The Sixth Sense, oh, they know about The Sixth Sense, oh, that, oh, I see dead people. We know about that, you know? So I think that's what it's about, you know, when we talk about some of these films, it's just about, it's just the time frame and when things come out. But as I said, you guys, to get ready to wrap this up, I won't keep you guys too much longer. I won't let this stream go too much longer. But as I said, you know, I highly recommend you guys, man, check out this series. As I said, if you watch a few of the films, go watch the rest of the films and then give your overall opinion of the franchise in general. But I will say one little teaser I will give for you guys. If you look at that antagonist, the Djinn in the Wishmaster, it definitely, when you look at the antagonist from Jeepers Creepers, you'll see kind of how it kind of has that same vibe to it. Also, as I always like to do in my streams, before I leave the show, I want to give some shout outs, and I want to make sure that you guys give some recommendation to channels that I highly recommend that you guys subscribe to. Make sure that you guys go subscribe to Jamie Hart, which she's in the building right now. Go subscribe to her channel, Jamie Hart. She does movie reviews. She also premieres and features on the Region Free, and her channel is based on a lot of vlogs. Okay, she has a lot of entertaining vlogs on her. So if you guys like vlogs and all that stuff, go make sure you go check out Jamie Hart. I'll make sure after everything is done, when I'm done, I'll have her link in the description of this live stream. Also, make sure you guys go check out the Visited by Voiceless. Go check out the Region Free. Make sure you subscribe to Region Free. I also want to give you guys a heads up. Now, I was going to do a live stream and a live commentary with the Scream, because you guys know I come with some of that the craziest theories, and I talk about the Scream a lot. So I was going to go in about the Scream franchise and do a live commentary, a special watch along with the Scream franchise. But one of the other members in the community has a live stream set for the Scream, the anniversary in the near future in December. So I won't do that. I'll just wait. I guess what I'll do is I'll try to be join that live stream, or I will definitely follow along. If I'm not able to join the stream, I will definitely follow along, watch along. And there's a reason for that, because for those of you guys that do not know, we know that the new Scream film is coming out soon in next year, January 2022. And me, myself, as you guys, just in case you guys may not know, so this is something you guys would like to know if you guys would like to know about me. Myself, I have a huge connection to the Scream franchise. Now, the reason why I say I have a huge connection to the Scream franchise is because this is something for you guys who might want to know. The Scream franchise, the first film in the franchise, came out in 1996 in December, okay? So just so you guys know, the Scream franchise premiered on the same day that I was actually born. For that's something for you guys to know. Also, when the Scream franchise appeared on the day that I was born in December, also, if you notice, it appeared in 1996, and at the time frame it came out, the characters and everything, it was evolved around them being teenagers, 16. At that time, I was turning 16 exactly when this film premiered. Just so you guys know that was just something for you guys to know. So as I told you guys, you know, I have a very huge connection with the Scream franchise. And as I said, even though it's not my number one favorite franchise we're talking about in the 90s, everyone knows I'm a major, huge fan of the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise, at least the first two films, not that third film. I don't know what the heck happened to that third film. But I am a very huge fan. I love me some Scream. And as I said, I draw to it, and I drew to the Scream franchise. And as I said, there's a stream coming up soon. I would love to be a part of that stream. If not, I will follow along, only because of the fact that I just feel there's a connection between me and the Scream film. You know, it was based on, you know, if you look at the first film, it was based on when they were 16 years old at that time. And when it came out, the film, actually the first debut was the actual same month and the actual same day that I was born. And I turned 16 as well when that movie premiered. So that was just something for you guys might want to know. Jamie Hart says, thanks, MJ. No problem, Jamie. No problem. As I said, before I leave the building for you guys, just an update. I will have a busy schedule. There's a lot of more content I have coming. I know a lot of you guys on my personal email and the patrons, you guys have been requesting me to do more and more live streams. I just want to give you guys an update. I have a very busy schedule, you know, especially, you know, I have a lot of outside projects. So, you know, I'm very, very busy. So I try to squeeze in whenever I can. Also, I'm a writer. So, you know, a lot of my time when you don't see me for a little minute, or I may be maybe a week or something, you not see me constantly, is because I'm probably in my writing mode. I'm crafting and working on my next script or another episode in my teleplay or my novels. You know, I have a lot of projects going on at one time. So that's why, you know, very busy. But for you guys that do like to see the live streams, I will let you guys know that I do have what I will say is I go more live streams on my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group called The Hub. So if you guys are interested in, for those of you guys that are interested in it, more of the live streams, be looking out for the Facebook group. I'm going to be implementing more of my live streams on the Facebook group instead of over here on YouTube. The reason for that is that before I start doing a lot of live streams over here, I would like to build my audience over here more on YouTube before I start doing a lot of live streams. You know, I just prefer to do that over there in the Facebook group. But as I said, be expecting, you're going to see it coming. I have some projects coming. I have a little bit, I don't know the date right now, but coming up maybe a week or sometime after Thanksgiving, there will be I have a special guest coming. I will be live. I will be doing an interview. I will be interviewing a very special guest, upcoming author that has a couple of books that's out and published. So that will be coming up. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on YouTube or I'm going to do it in the Facebook group, in the Facebook Live group over there. So, but whenever it is, I'll let you guys know. But even if I do it over there, I might put it up over here on YouTube as well. So just be looking at it. I do have that coming up. I also, right now, I also, it's another interview that I will be coming up soon. Hopefully, I'm looking into doing an interview with a very, very, very talented film producer and actress. I won't spoil it right now, but she's a female actress and she's been in a lot of projects. She's actually been a part of a lot of projects as well. This will be the spoiler for you guys, or you know, like what is it? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or what is it? The Briefcase. What's the other one with the briefcases? I can't think of it right now. Some of you guys may know, but you guys know the one where the guy had the briefcase and you open up the briefcase. Well, you know how they spoil it, give you a little hint or a clue. I'll give you guys a little hint or a clue. This actress and film producer, she has multiple films actually available on Tubi, and she is actually from London. So be looking for that coming too. We'll be looking for that. I've already made contact, and I'm just trying to fit it in, get the schedule right. I don't want to spoil it right now for you guys, but it's going to be coming up in December and late this year. It's going to be a lot of good content, and you're going to be seeing some good interviews. So just be looking out for those. I will give you guys updates and let you guys know. But as I said, the one interview coming up, I will be interviewing an author with a couple of books put out there. I will be doing that, and it's going to be very, very good. Also, for any of you guys that have any ideas or anything that you guys may be interested in me doing, or any content you may be interested in me doing, make sure you just let me know. You can go on my personal email. It's on my YouTube page. You'll check the email. You let me know. Or also I'm available on Twitter. I'm available on Instagram as well, and also on the Facebook group. Let me know if there's content that you guys want to see me do or interested in me doing. Let me know, and then I'll try to squeeze it in. Also, for the collaborators, you guys know I'm always interested in collaborating and uplifting other people and promoting other people and just doing collaborations. So for any of you guys that are interested in collaborations, just make sure you let me know. I'm more than welcome to do that. I also before I leave the building, I almost forgot, I do also have a couple of other collaborations that's going to be coming up with a couple of other YouTubers that are actually stationed in London as well. So it should be interesting. So be expecting a lot of good content coming from the platform. Let's Talk for a Minute real soon. So I guess I'll get ready to wrap it up. I kept you guys long enough. As I said, I want to thank everyone from that was in the building today. You guys have been showing a lot of love and a lot of appreciation. One more thing before I leave you guys. Was at the tip of my tongue. I don't want to forget it. What was I going to say? I told you guys about the collaborations. If you guys are interested in any content, let me know. One more thing that it was one more thing I wanted to give you guys an update on. I can't think, it's at the tip of my tongue. I'm so wired right now. You guys have got so many things going around right now. Right now, I have so many ideas and I've got so many things going on right now that I'm so busy that I'm just all over the place right now, and I can't get everything on straight. But yeah, just respecting a lot of content. I know I'm rambling right now, you guys. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but you know, I might as well keep going right now since I got you guys in the building, since I'm going live right now. So I might as well a little ramble. I'm giving you guys an update as far as all that, etc., etc. Excuse the noise in the background. Right now, there's a little gathering going on right now nearby, so that's why you may hear a little noise in the background. Anything else I want to update? So I'm going to leave you guys with what else? What else? Oh yeah. Be expecting. There's a possibility that I'm going to be looking around for different people, different individuals that have different specialties in particular things, such as behind the scene cameras, on stage, film producers, all that stuff, because it's just a screenplay that I'm trying to get made into a movie. So that's going to be coming up soon as well. Also, you guys, make sure that you guys, if you guys interested, I do have the podcast going as well. I'm available on Anchor, Spotify, all the mainstream podcast platforms. I'm available on as well. But I think I wrapped everything up for you guys. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say. I think that was all I have for you guys. Just want to let you guys know what's been going on. And sometimes if you guys don't see something content from me for maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks go by, it's just maybe I'm in the laboratory and I'm working. I'm constantly working. You know what I'm saying? I'm never taking a day off. But that's all I have for you guys, I believe. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream right now. So I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. So until next time, peace.